Mashiach and the secrets of the gospel. As I have revealed in previous videos, we have seen that this chart represents the cosmos at the moment of illumination, and this chart is found in the Torah itself, principally in the meeting of Esau and Jacob that Moses described in his Torah. We found also that this chart and the all positions of them are found in the Great Pyramid and at Stonehenge in England. And now we are going to discover that this chart is also found in the New Testament. And in order to reveal that, we need to turn to Scripture and to the New Testament, principally the Gospel of Mark and chapter 14 and verse 1. And in this Scripture, we begin at this point here, where the Sun has just conjunct Pluto, a separation of 2 degrees. Each degree the Sun moves is a day. So here we go, we quote from Scripture itself, and here is chapter 14 of the Gospel of Mark. It was now 2 days before the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. This first verse is a direct reference to this position of these two orbs. The Sun is 21 degrees Libra and Pluto is 19 degrees Libra. The ideograph for Libra is itself showing is known as the House of Bread, and is found on the boss of the antechamber of the Great Pyramid. Now, the Sun's position at 21 degrees is just past Pluto, and here we have a reference to that position in this Scripture. Now, we go on, and the chief priests and the scribes were seeking how to arrest him by stealth and kill him, for they said, "Not during the feast, lest there be a tumult of the people." Now we have in the Scripture of the Gospel reference to the chief priests and the scribes. This is a reference to Saturn in Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. It's the planet of scribes, communicators. And here Saturn is reference to age, older people. The law itself, as we found in the Torah, is representative of Makuth, kingdom, the unity of the law. So in many ways represents those that uphold the law, the Pharisees. Now we move on to verse 3. And while he was at Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, as he sat at table, a woman came with an alabaster flask of ointment of pure nard, very costly, and she broke the flask and poured it over his head. This Scripture is with reference to 1. The moon, 2. Jupiter, and 3. The North Node. The moon represents in cosmology the fairer sex. Women are ruled by the moon. So in Scripture we have a direct reference to the position of moon here at 12 degrees Leo, which is near Jupiter. Now Jupiter here and its ideograph shows a back and legs under a table, and this is direct reference to Jesus at the table. Now the woman, in the form of the moon, pours the ointment above the head of Jesus. So here we have a direct reference to the flask and the ointment that's poured on the head of Jesus while he sits at table. But this flask, upturned flask, is represented here but what is known as the North Node. This is the position that the moon eclipsed the sun's ecliptic in the north, and it's at 7 degrees Virgo, and it is above Jupiter, conjuncting Jupiter. So now we go on in scripture, and we turn to verse 12, and it states, "And on the first day of unleavened bread, when they sacrificed the Passover lamb." Now we've gone to the first day of unleavened bread, and there is a sacrifice of a lamb. Sacrifice comes under the next planetary sphere, and that is Mars here at 12 degrees Leo, conjuncting the moon. And Mars represents the red planet, and red is blood. So with reference to this particular planet next in the chart for illumination. The Gospels are going throughout the whole horoscope to reveal this moment of illumination. So we go on, where it states, "And then, where will you have us to go and prepare for you to eat the Passover?" And he sent 2 of his disciples and said to them, "Go into the city, and a man carrying a jar of water will meet you. Follow him, and wherever he enters, say to the householder, 'The teacher says, where is my guest room, where I am to eat the Passover with my disciples?' And he will show you a large upper room, furnished and ready." Here we have Jesus sending 2 disciples into the city. And here is direct reference to what is known in the horoscope for illumination, the descendant here, which is at 2 degrees Leo. These represent the 2 men that go into the city. So therefore we follow the descendant along to what is known as the ascendant. And there we meet Aquarius. And Aquarius is rising in the east at the moment of man's illumination. The glyph, the ideograph for Aquarius is a man who holds a jar on his shoulder. And this is direct reference in the scripture to this particular area here, 2 degrees Aquarius. And the man shows them, the 2 men, of disciples of Jesus, of a room fully furnished, and this is reference to all the orbs above the horizon at the moment of man's illumination. Now, the scripture itself moves on, and it deals with the lower half of the horoscope, and we shall deal with that in the next part.